Welcome back to Entertainment Banter. My name is Joel,
And I'm Matt.
and we are here to give you another dose of your weekly podcast.
Full of entertainment and excitement.
I'm going to
So
talk
exciting.
very sensual to you all evening.
You like to do that. You like to do
I have my morning voice. You hear it?
Yeah, morning voice.
In a world
I can.
where the ice caps have melted and the land is very scarce, we call it Water World. Okay. Today, Matt.
Where Robin Hood's accent is no longer English. He turns into
Oh
a
my
fish.
God. Did you ever watch Valkyrie, with Tom Cruise?
You know what's funny is it's been one of those movies that's always been playing in the background, but I don't think I've ever actually paid attention to it the whole time.
A lot of people complain because if you just tune in like after the first 10 minutes, it's all English speaking, right? Some
Right.
of them may have accents, but Tom Cruise is supposed to be playing a German. They're all, they're trying to attempt to assassinate Hitler, right?
Right.
Well,
Yes, yeah. I know this story,
you
yeah.
have to watch the beginning because they're all speaking 100% German, and then the camera rotates around them like we're going, and they're translating it for us as we watch it. So that's why they speak
Yep.
English the whole movie. That way, there's no subtitles. That way, they cover their bases and say like, this is Germany, but let's pretend for a second you're German too, and you understand them. That
Sure.
was the whole point of the movie.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, I was okay at first, but if you just watch the trailer or you just whatever, like they're all English speaking. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, we see Germans speak English all the time in old movies. How
No,
else are you gonna? I mean,
No, I know.
I get the subtitle thing, but
But Tom Cruise didn't have an accent.
well, Germans don't have accents to Germans.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like when you first watch,
Yeah.
if you just watch, you're like, oh.
So let me ask you this: the English-speaking Germans, even though Tom didn't have an accent, did they still have their German accent, even though they're English-speaking?
I need to go back and watch.
Or
the
were
movie,
they
to be
talking
honest.
normal as well?
Just talking about it, I kind of want to watch the movie again. This is not the topic. This is not.
This
the
is
topic.
not the topic.
Remember that topic where we were going to talk about something? We ended
We're
up
bantering.
Remember
Yes, right.
that topic we started talking about porn, and we just stayed on porn for like 30 minutes. That's a good recall.
That had some high hits. I bet a lot of disappointments. I bet they're like they didn't even talk about Debbie or Dallas.
But right, and this is what I'm talking about. This is for a second. This is kind of bringing it into what we're talking about. Valkyrie was not a box office hit. Our porn episode was not a good episode. With the greatest intentions behind, and even with the greatest materials you have, and the wittiest people behind the scenes,
Right.
you still have failed products, right? You
Absolutely.
still have failures. Failures help you become better, right?
Right.
But let's
absolutely.
narrow that thing. Let's jump into the video game industry and let's talk.
I like video games.
Let's talk
It's been
about what should have succeeded but didn't. But also we could talk about what didn't succeed and shouldn't have even been made.
All right. Well, let's start with video games because I'm gonna skip like the Atari era unless there's something you want to add.
Let's jump right into the Nintendo era and like the modern day video game. I feel like Nintendo sparked the modern day.
Yeah. So when Nintendo came out, right, it was so like popular, obviously.
Right.
And they were it was the first. It's not the first, but it was like the first real of its kind where like gaming for the home market really stepped up.
Well, I think the
'Cause-
Master System did that, but Sega
Of
did
course.
it. Seems like Sega always went one step ahead of Nintendo, but they always released it just too early, where
Right.
it's like it wasn't refined enough.
But I want to talk about the accessories.
Yeah,
Because
of
Nintendo, when it
course.
first came out, like we talked about before, the robot, Robbie the robot.
Robbie the robot.
It came with.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think when Nintendo made the Robbie is that they figured that whoever played video games are losers and are loners? Because Robbie was
No,
literally just the AI next to you playing the game.
No, because I think Japanese people are very into tech and like that idea. And the Nintendo was such a new system. It was at the time it was like state of the art tech, so to speak, especially for
Okay.
children in that mindset. And so like to have a robot with you,
Right.
like I mean,
I
you
guess.
know, like it's like R2D2 was still a big thing. Like Nintendo came out in the 80s and
Right.
Jedi ended in 80s, mid to late 80s. So it's fresh in people's minds. Like I just saw this in the movies and now it's real. It's here. Wow.
you also gotta
it's
think
a
that-
robot ahead of its time.
That Short Circuit was also in the theaters too.
Yeah.
With Johnny
Yeah.
Five, and Robbie looked like Johnny Five.
Yeah, he did. He did. And plus, when you're a kid in a store and you're walking into what would be equivalent to a GameStop at the time, and you see all the stuff there, and then you see the Nintendo, and you see the different the boxes, because you have like it's like anything, small, medium, and large. You got the regular basic package. You got that comes with just Mario. Then you got the one that comes with Duck Hunt and Mario and the gun, and then you got the one that comes with Robbie the robot, the gun, Duck Hunt, Mario, and you're like, oh my gosh, look at all these different choices for this system, and like what does each one of these things do? But it made me start thinking about Nintendo, because the regular Nintendo, the NES Classic, as it were.
The Nintendo Entertainment System.
I thought again, with that mindset of like being a tech nerd, like the idea that the future's now and you can be a part of it. You've got a robot. The next natural step is like futuristic things like gloves. And they came out with the Nintendo Power Glove.
But the Power Glove, was that for Nintendo or not Super Nintendo?
It was for Nintendo. No, it was originally for Nintendo.
I don't remember seeing that anywhere.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. Look it up. I mean, again, cool to wear. It makes you feel like a cyborg or something.
And it was like the controller, right? You could just use one hand.
Well, so here's the thing. I never owned one, but I remember it having the actual the control. It's like someone glued a controller onto the glove. So I don't think it was motion sensitive per se. It's just like you hold the glove and you're pushing buttons, kind of like you would if like you're trying to hack something today in a movie, you got the special tech on your arm.
They could totally make that now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But just the idea of the Nintendo Power Glove, and it was only my understanding was I think it only worked for certain games like Punch Out, which is kind of ironic. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause you got to put on your gloves for Punch Out.
Oh yeah.
So it's more of a psychological thing than an actual. It's not like the Wii where you could physically move and it would follow your movements.
I know they tried the glove multiple times too. I know Super Nintendo got one, and I know N64 eventually got one, but GameCube and beyond never got one. And it's funny to see that it tried to evolve. But then you also look at what came out for Nintendo, the trackpad. Remember the trackpad?
Yes, absolutely. And that actually was pretty popular. That was the first pad of its kind.
Like, it's the first exercise
buttons that you step on.
Exercise thing you
right.
First exercise controller.
And again, it was for the track game,
right?
Like an actual sports game.
We tried using it for the other games because like it registers as a controller. Like you just use it as a controller. It just enlarged your controller. That's all it did. But it was interesting to see that's evolved. So now you look at like the Wii Fit board and all that. That's been evolved. Like it's still it didn't fail since they evolved.
Well, and you had the 360 pad as well.
Right.
I bought that for Dance Dance Revolution for the lady.
So it just evolved
back
from like what it was,
Yeah. So you're jumping from time to time forever. So I was gonna say, I mean, you're giving good examples of how it carried through. But let's talk the gun real quick on Nintendo. I thought that was pretty awesome as a kid playing Duck Hunt.
But Matt, that didn't fail. In theory, it just evolved into our wireless controllers that we shoot at the screen now.
That's true to some extent, but it went away during Super Nintendo.
No, it didn't. It became the Super Scope.
Right, the Super Scope was the last one, is what I'm saying.
Right,
and then physically as a weapon-looking thing, right?
Right. Oh, the N64 never... Did the 64 get one?
I don't think the 64 got one, and I don't think the GameCube got one.
Oh my gosh.
So you're right. The laser technology came back for the Wii.
Well, because if you buy a Nintendo right now or a Super Nintendo, which is sad because I have my Super Nintendo, I cannot use a Super Scope on our TVs now. It doesn't work in that way. I guess.
Oh yeah.
From what I understand, it's not that since CRTs had a certain
because the tube.
Yeah, I guess so, and it triggered the what the controller was doing.
RF.
Yeah, so now our TVs today don't work on it. I haven't
tried.
That makes sense
they're all LED. Well, they're all pixelated LED.
Right.
There's no wave anymore.
Right. So I mean, your old CRTV is still worth something in some kind of way. I still have one more at my father's house. I'm thinking I may just keep it because if I ever want to play,
sure,
I should hook that up in the loft with my Super Nintendo and Nintendo and call it good.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I was thinking too. You joggle. Oh, I'm losing my train of thought now. We're talking. Oh, why? I want them to remake. They've done it in the past, and maybe it will be lame, but for the hell of it, like in the traditional Mario style artwork, I want a new Duck Hunt game. They can do it now.
Oh my gosh,
that would be so much fun, right?
I feel. Yeah, I mean.
Like with the same cute Mario graphics, I don't want them to turn it into like a real hunting game or something where it's like lifelike deer or ducks. I just want
you want the giggling dog that always.
I want the dog giggling up out of the bush.
That
right?
everyone's shot at because you're like fuck you dog.
And maybe some extra characters coming into the mix that are kind of funny. You accidentally shoot someone in the ass, behind the bush instead of a duck.
They could easily do. I mean, they do make adapters for your Joy-Con to make it look like a gun.
Yes, yeah.
So they can, I mean, there was one for the Wii. I mean, I got some Zelda game that turned my Wii remote into a crossbow.
Right.
So
yeah.
So
why
isn't that out there? Why isn't that out?
That would be so awesome. Well, if Nintendo's listening, I would get a Duck Hunt game. Disney really went all out.
Disney's listening to this more than Nintendo. Let's be honest.
Oh, they are. Yeah, because they know how we feel. It's kind of funny though. Like a lot of stuff. They are actually. You joke. Here we go. Banter time. Disney actually more now than ever. Just so you know, they are scouring the internet for pods and for YouTubers. Specifically trying to, because they're purposely leaking information. It's been going on forever, but now it's just, they're not even trying to hide it. They're purposely leaking information out there to test if fans are going to hate it before they even start making the project.
Interesting. Well,
yeah. So they are listening for sure.
For sure. But what were you going to say about back to video?
Well, I was going to backpedal a little bit and say, you kind of ruined the argument, but I'll just go on with it anyways. Why do you think overall the idea of sensory items, whether there be pads to step on, items to wear, extra accessories to hold, why are they, even though their idea is always cool, why does it always seem to fail? Like they don't take traction.
I honestly thought
every system you mentioned through time has had one. You're right.
Right.
Even like the Kinect on the Switch, or not the Kinect on the Switch, the Kinect on the Xbox, and then they keep it trying to advance and evolve. How come it just fails? It's so close, but it fails.
I think it's funny because I thought you were gonna go a different direction, saying how come they keep making it? It seems like they're improving upon it, and I was like, I was gonna jump in and go, no, they all failed. I mean, even today, all those things are still failing today. Even the virtual goggles, those are failing still today. It's just
I forgot about VR.
It hasn't hit that pinnacle of technology, I guess. I think the gamers or game companies, they want to keep pushing it. They want to push the envelope because they make their team. I almost feel like it's an exercise in fertility, because as they are doing it in the job, it makes them think outside the box and make it work. Whether or not it's going to succeed or fail opens doors to other technologies, what they're working with.
Of course,
so they're going to keep experimenting on it. But as of right now, the official thing they make fails. But you can see the connection to where they got the good know-how to do it, like Duck Hunt and all those, and Super Scope, and then the track thing, all eventually turned into the Wii Remote, which now turned into what we have for the Switch. Because they jumped out of the box. If they just kept it, but I think a lot of times they fail. A lot of those things, like I got annoyed, like when I was playing Skyward Sword Zelda, you had the nunchuck, and we had nunchuck in the thing in your hand.
The Wii was.
This is the visual of how I had to swing the sword. I got really annoyed.
Just so you guys know, he looks very pleasurable right now.
Feels
just
good.
So you know.
But it just like, good. If someone looked from behind and you're watching Zelda, like, what are you masturbating to? Zelda? Or is that bird thing he's flying? Is she flying?
Well, they're both so attractive. You can't make up one.
Right.
One.
I mean,
maybe it's an orgy. Who knows?
Link does look attractive with those pointy ears, but and he's wearing those tights. But maybe you're into chic. Maybe you're into chic. Maybe you're into her. The old lady,
right?
Gray hair. That platinum hair does it for you. Blue hair ladies.
Oh my gosh! Especially while you're fishing. I mean, doing it while you're fishing now. That's a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But it gets kind of an old. Like I honestly bought Twilight Princess for GameCube because I didn't want to play it on Wii because I didn't want to move my hands around. The idea behind it is neat, but a lot of people come home after a long day of blue collar work. And they don't want to do physical things.
You're bringing up a good point.
They want to sit there and they just want to sit and just hold their hand and move their thumbs and maybe
well, so let's so so there's a lot of factors you just brought up that maybe you're answering my question, because one thing that I
answered your question.
No. You're bringing up new questions, and you're bringing up politics in a way, gaming politics and world politics, because without knowing it, like for example, Americans are getting too fat. We need to get
oh my god, yeah,
or getting too fat. So you got to get physical. Well, how do we get them physical? Well, we fit, and we're gonna make them physically move around.
They have company meetings about this too.
Right, sure. They're literally making people exercise or forcing them to exercise, because American
Well,
as a whole are too fat to.
Before you go further into that, Dance Dance Revolution opened the eyes
Yeah.
to these companies to do that. You know what I mean?
Right, but that was fun. That was an idea of fun, not forcing it into the people's like because Wii, for example, like almost every game had that. The whole point of the Wii was to be physical, so almost every game had that option.
Right.
And to get physical.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
Connect wanted you to use your whole body.
Right, but the argument at the time, I when it came out, I was like, okay, so what about the poor people that got into a horrific accident and can no longer be physical? Sometimes the Nintendo is the only thing they had to to have some fun, and now they're saying be physical. So it's like it's not fair to those individuals.
Yeah,
too.
it's like
and that's why they catered the games to go back to button pushing.
If I wanted to freaking play sports, I'd go play sports.
Right.
Why am I doing this?
Because you're right. Getting home from work, I'm too tired to do this. For me, the appeal to the Wii was, oh my gosh, it would be fun when I'm not tired from working all day to actually, maybe do, because I bought the Indiana Jones game because I'm like, oh, cool, you could do a whip, you can kind of like
repetitive, my friend.
shoot, whatever. But what I found frustrating, and it goes back to like you said, the technology. I would either I'd be like swinging that whip in real time, expecting it to keep up with me and like be badass. It was so lagged, or it didn't read it, and like you said, you'd have to do like this wrist twist, and that would be it. So I could sit on the couch and just like flick my wrist every once in a while, and it would do the move. So it kind of defeated the purpose. It didn't work. It didn't work the way it was supposed to.
Right.
People were expecting, when you were holding a lightsaber, they were expecting like, if I move my lightsaber fast because I'm the best Jedi in the world, I've been training my whole life for this moment. And like the Wii maybe it shows like the lightsaber kind of does one move after you've done 7 because you're moving faster than the system can handle. You know what I mean?
But now the Switch can almost handle it more or less, but they give you the option to do it or not. Like the other day we were playing that billiards game or the 51 table games. And one of them was a shooting gallery, and you're like, oh, I'm moving my joystick around. I'm like, nope, I'm just moving my joystick around. So you were doing this, and I was doing this.
So you're using the actual buttons and the toggles.
Right, because I didn't have the Joy-Con on me. I was using the controller you bought.
Right, you were playing the gamer's controller. Gotcha.
So I find it funny that if you choose it, you can still do it either way. The Switch gives you the option now, not like Wii, where it was almost like you had to masticate in public.
Well, so because we believe it or not, we're actually going to be running short on time. So let's talk about, because you wanted to talk originally about the failures, right?
I wanted to bring up N-Gage because I remembered it last night, and you were like, what's an N-Gage?
Yes, yeah, I still don't remember it. You showed me a picture today. I'm like, what is this? I don't remember this. Go ahead, tell us what it is.
I think it was a phone too. But
maybe that's why. Maybe because I thought of it more as a phone that could play games.
Right. Maybe they were trying to hit the Game Boy market.
Well, can you explain what it is? Like what company, all this stuff?
Nokia came out with the Nokia N-Gage. I think it was like $200.
And what time frame was this?
Mid 2000s.
I don't think it was $200.
I think it came out in 2004, and I think it survived in 2004.
Okay, so it cost $200 to buy.
Right.
And what systems were out at the time that were competitive?
Game Boy Advance.
Okay. Which cost $100 at a time, maybe $130.
Game Boy Advance SP.
Yeah.
GameCube. And PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360 was
all
just
of those
being
systems
dropped
are
out.
less than $200 or equal to $200. I think the PS2 was $200. Am I wrong?
The Nokia could have been $130 or something like that. I can't recall exactly. Okay. It was around the time when I was exiting from working for Electronics Boutique, which
but
is
definitely not worth. Like if you could have a PlayStation 2 with all the games and watch DVDs, which were new at the time.
Well, the thing is, they never had their
online play.
I don't think they ever had their own character. The games you can buy are like the ones you got on Game Boy, and the only benefit they had was that it was also your phone. Obviously, smartphones today have
we didn't have smartphones in that capacity.
Right. But you could buy the phone. It looked like a Game Boy Advance, like the old school one, not the SP.
Right.
And
the one that's had like that diamond-y shape to it.
But it wasn't a touchscreen, so it had all the phone number buttons on there, all your pound sign, your star, your numbers, and it had arrows, and it had like extra buttons for the games. And the games were cartridges that you buy, almost like a Game Boy Advance. Like it was, the idea was to destroy Game Boy. But the thing is, you're jumping
with a phone.
You're literally like, you're jumping in the deep end with Nintendo, who started out as a fetus and now is a full-grown man, and you're like thinking, I'm gonna jump out of this womb into this deep end and just attack Nintendo. Obviously, you're going to fail, and not only did that is more or less why it failed. Let's keep out the fact that it had shitty battery life. The games weren't that good. The quality of the system wasn't that great, and the price tag was not attractive enough. Let's rule all those out. It failed because it's challenging a company that literally started out as a kind of like a portable system. They started as a trading card company that turned into the Game and Watch games, that turned into Nintendo and Game Boy. Like you're dealing with a company that already vetted so much shit.
Well, it goes back to positioning 101 for business etiquette.
Right.
Like the reality is, when I hear Nokia, I think phone. I
think phone that can
games.
go through a wall. I think of quality because a brick.
Right.
My friend literally
it's
threw
true
his.
though, but I think phone. I don't think gaming.
He threw his phone into my wall. It got stuck in the drywall, and it worked fine.
Yeah.
But you honestly think of that, and then you think about like companies like Microsoft, who had the funds and research to jump into the deep end with Sony and Nintendo and Dreamcast, or I guess Dreamcast was.
Well, what helped with Microsoft
Sega.
and what helped with Microsoft too
was their
is,
PC gaming.
Right, and that's the thing.
there.
Like PC gaming had always been around, and there was always like this divide between console gaming and PCs. Like in my opinion, they were two different universes.
Me
you
too.
You were either a console person or a PC person when it came to gaming.
Right.
And the benefit of PC gaming was you always had the best graphics and the coolest games. It was very annoying to play because you had mouses and keyboards and whatever usually when it started out. Whereas the benefit of the console was like, hey, it's easy, it's accessible, it's easy to hold. You got controllers, you got multiple game options quick. It's just two different worlds. But what Xbox did was they finally bridged that gap into one world.
When they first
released, they kind of did, because even the Game Pass, you can play PC people on Xbox.
No, you couldn't. That's what I was hoping you could.
Some games you can, like Fortnite is.
Now you can.
Yes,
but if you play Fortnite, I can get Fortnite for my Switch, and I'll play people from Sony.
Right.
But back in the day, I thought that was the case. I thought when they released Halo 1, the original Halo game, came out for Xbox, but it also released for the PC with extra maps and online play. It never released online play for the original Halo on Xbox. It was like an afterthought. So it was like it almost felt like they're bridging the gap, but they're also trying to say like these are separate things. We wanted to keep them separate. Now it's more or less like you're kind of merging everything now.
Right.
But it's also right. But I honestly think that Xbox is a dying brand right now.
I don't know. I just heard their quarterly earnings, and they made a bunch of money off their consoles because people are suckers for it. They're buying the XS, whatever they're called, and
they're buying the humidifiers that Sony and Microsoft are now making.
Hey, it can blow a ping pong ball in the air. Nothing else in the world can do that. A $10 fan at Walmart, no way can it blow a ping pong ball in the air.
When you bought the old school Xbox 360, people were telling people to not put it in closed cabinets and all that because it was producing so much heat.
Yes,
that someone tried to cook an egg on it. Like it used to cook. 360 was making so much heat. They had to take the ballast out of it because I know the Xbox itself had the ballast built in.
Yes,
they had to take the ballast and put it somewhere else. Now you have this big block you have that's outside the system. Of course, Nintendo and Sony. I think Sony never did that, and Nintendo has always done that.
Nintendo's. I mean, like it's so thin. What are you gonna?
Right.
I mean, everything's.
They always
so thin.
did. Yeah. The only time you didn't have that was the N64, but they had that big block that plugged in, which is your ballast for the power. So,
right.
It was just very fascinating. But moving on to, I
wanted to bring. Oh, I'm sorry. Before you can talk whatever you want to talk about, but before we go, mention Game Gear too.
Well, that's what I was moving on to Sega right now, Foo.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Continue. I didn't know where you were going. We banter too much.
You cut me off.
I like to do that.
I cut you off too, a lot. I actually just talk while you're talking. I talk really quiet, so then people.
We talk over each other all the time.
So
I'm actually watching TV right now. I'm not even listening to you.
I know. I like you point. I see the TV behind you off. You're such an asshole. So Nintendo and Sega were rivals for a very long time.
Yes.
Problem with Sega is that they're always one step ahead, but two steps back. Like they jumped out ahead, but then Nintendo's like, that was probably a good idea, so they modified it and made it better. Obviously, when Nintendo had the NES, they had Game Boy, Sega Master System. To this day, you can ask people what they think the first Sega system was. They'll say Genesis, which is wrong.
Right.
So, but Genesis came out, and they also made the Sega Game Gear, which was supposed to rival the Game Boy. Which
was amazing.
Which, matter of fact, was a way better system than the Game Boy. But here's the issue: the Game Boy took 2 AA's, no backlight, and it was at green screen, and and the battery would last days because it was so basic. Game Gear took 8 AA batteries, had backlit screen, had the quality of the Genesis pretty much. I think it was 16 bits on on Game Gear. Or on Game Gear, and it was backlit. It was gorgeous. It's a great system.
It was in color,
but the batteries lasted like 5 minutes, maybe 20 to be actually legit numbers. But
was that legit 20 minutes for reals?
I think it was legitly like an hour or 20 minutes. You could turn the
backlight.
They
With
tell you to turn
external power.
People started making them. You can plug it into the wall, but then it defeats that it was a portable system. It also it gave you the option to turn the backlight off to save power. Obviously, and but it was so hard to see, so everyone kept it on, most likely. Nintendo, of course, had accessories where you can magnify the screen and put backlight.
Literally magnifying glasses were put on top of the screens and lights.
But that was Sega's only attempt at a handheld, and like I said, it was ahead of its time, but then it failed. Nintendo kept going.
It was amazing, though, right? If they could have just figured out that power supply, they would have probably dominated the market. But they didn't bother to fix that.
No,
why didn't they bother to try to fix that?
Well, Sega has been known to create something, and if it fails, they just moved on. So, like, if you look at where they stopped making their systems, Dreamcast, to this day, I believe, is still the better system to play Street Fighter on. It had the better arcade, because Sega was more of an arcade company. And it was just faster.
What were the consoles at the time, Joel? Because there was 3 consoles warring at that time, and the Dreamcast
PlayStation
was one of them.
2, GameCube, GameCube and Dreamcast.
Because I remember there was a Spider-Man game, and it was originally released on, I think, PlayStation 2 or 1. I can't remember, but they remade it for the Dreamcast, and the graphics were better. And
right,
it was just
the Dreamcast
amazing.
was a better system all around. It's just they had their flaws in it. They released it too early. I mean, Xbox was announcing their system to come up. So I almost attribute that Xbox is my new Sega. Like, it kept it going. Like, we had 3 system wars fighting since, when Sony came in. We still have 3 system wars fighting now, in a sense.
Yes.
So it's interesting that happened. But honestly, I want Sega to come out. Like, this is me. Sonic has always been Mario's competitor.
Absolutely.
Sonic should not be on any other system except Nintendo. Sonic should have been like a default, you're now a Nintendo character. You know what I mean?
I think it kind of is. You know what's interesting?
Sort of, because they have, Sonic Olympics or whatever and all that.
You just made me think of something bitter. I know I hate Disney so much right now. So the thing is, like, that's a perfect example. Like, Sonic is only for the most part on Nintendo.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe it's around maybe you can get it on other platforms. Like, you can buy it. You can buy Sonic games on Xbox. You can buy Sonic games on PlayStation.
I wish you couldn't do that. I wish it was on Nintendo base.
But you have like the Mario Olympics. You have the Mario Olympics with Sonic. You know what I mean? It's a game with Mario and Sonic together. You have a game with the racers. They're all together. Like, it is Sonic is part of the Nintendo brand now in a way. So I was just thinking, like, it's funny how when Nintendo absorbs a character like Sonic, they don't try to change it. They honor that character and all of its characters and lore, but like Disney buys Star Wars,
they don't own
destroys everything.
Sega's still a company, Matt. They're still making video games, so it's like
they are making video games. But what I'm saying is, when they go to Nintendo,
they don't change
because
it.
The characters they don't change it. Like, all the new Sonic games are on Nintendo,
right? And it should. I mean, it just seemed like the right progression that Sonic folded to Nintendo. You know what I mean? They were competitors for so long, but I get what you're saying. Why is Disney fucking with our shows and messing with it?
Well, I'm just saying that's a company that absorbed it and we don't have anything negative to say about it. We didn't even notice it. The transition was so smooth. It's like, oh, cool. Sonic is with Mario. Cool. Like, it wasn't like, why is Sonic wearing an earring and why is he got different shoes now and he's running and
why does he have a tattoo?
Slower?
And why is he a female now? What's going on?
Yeah, right. You know what I mean?
No, they I appreciate.
We didn't
that.
even notice the transition. We got raped and we didn't even know it.
We
You
didn't
know
even
what
know.
I mean?
No, I mean the only
It
time
felt so good. We were just like, oh, that was a good dream. What
I mean,
happened?
Sonic never really got as big as Mario, but I mean, you got the Sonic movie that everybody appreciated, but it almost came out as a disaster.
Yeah, exactly. But that was, different politics. Hollywood politics
Right.
involved there, not gaming politics.
No,
I just thought that was interesting. I never really realized
I
how
didn't
easy that transition was.
you know why? Because it was a great transition.
Right.
If you do it right, no one notices you did anything. It's like
Right. If no one's talking about it, it
Right.
must have been done right.
And if you notice, like Sonic does look like now after we're talking about it, it does look like he's been absorbed by Nintendo completely because you can't get any new Sonic game anywhere except Nintendo.
Right.
It was like an unwritten rule. Like slowly, Sonic just became a Nintendo brand.
Right. It's cool too. It's like Magneto and Xavier working together. It's Goku and Vegeta working
But
together.
you also don't look at it as an entity of Nintendo. You still look at it as Sega going
Right.
strong.
Right. Exactly. Like I'll never accept that Sonic is Nintendo.
Right. Because you'll still when you think Sonic, you think
I appreciate
Sega.
that Nintendo allows him to grow and carry on.
It's like they're catering. Like we it's like their wounded
You know what
warrior. It's their wounded partner. They're
yeah.
like, we got you. We'll carry
Yeah, it's
you
like
out.
we had to fight you and take you down, but we didn't like it. We respect you as a
But we
comrade.
respect you. We respect
So
you.
we're gonna treat you right.
It's almost like they don't give a shit about what because you're never gonna see Mario and Master Chief in a game. You're not gonna see
not
see
yet, but you never
Crash
know.
Bandicoot or Spyro in a game with Mario. Like it's
Yeah.
almost like they don't respect. Honestly, Sony.
Actually, I don't know if that's true. I think Bandicoot might be or Which one is it? I think Bandicoot might be in Smash Brothers or something. Maybe I don't know. I can't remember. Some orange guys in
No,
Banjo
Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo.
Oh, is that who it is?
And
I'm
that's
sorry.
a Nintendo
oh,
character that
Banjo-Kazooie.
we haven't
Gotcha.
talked about. Like that's a Nintendo character they kind of neglected recently. But
Xbox, I think, took that one. I feel like he's more of an
Crash
Xbox
Bandicoot?
now. Not Crash Bandicoot. The
Banjo?
what's the Banjo?
Wasn't
yeah.
he a Nintendo character? Oh, he was a rare character, right? AR. I don't
Good
know.
question. I don't know, man.
Like
That's
Conker's Bad
topic
Fur
for
Day.
another day.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, so Sony. I feel like Sony burned Nintendo so much with that 64 and PlayStation thing. All that going on.
Mhm.
So I think Nintendo does not like Sony, so they don't have respect there. I think they respect them because they're a Japanese company only, and then they have no respect for Microsoft.
No.
Especially since when
Well-
Microsoft came and they wanted to buy them, and they're like, "Fuck you, get out of here."
Yeah.
They laughed at him in the face.
Yeah, as they should. That would have been awful. Well, because Microsoft was doing it for greed. They want to corner the game market all the way.
Well, they did
Force
that
people
before.
to buy subscriptions and then
Well,
double the price.
They did
and
that.
Then,
They did that before Microsoft had a system. They were trying to jump in. They figured Nintendo was already in. They want in.
yeah. No.
But
no.
I mean,
I think Xbox's greed is gonna be its downfall.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they did it. Remember when we were talking about the 360 transition and one, and they were saying all your backwards compatible games that you physically own, we're gonna make sure that you don't. They said you can't play them anymore because we assumed you took them to GameStop.
and now they
how do we know you
backstop.
still?
Now they
And then
backpedal.
then they backpedaled. But then now that the newer systems come out, surprise, surprise, Xbox One, new systems are coming out. They're like, oh, now Xbox Live is going to be doubled. We want more online subscriptions. It's like we're going to phase out all this stuff. It's like, here we go again.
I think they test the waters because they're like whatever, and then it backfires on them instantly. They're waiting for the time when they announce something that nothing happens. Like, cool, we're gonna do that then, and then they're gonna run with it.
Well, for future generations listening, they're counting on you to be stupid.
Yeah,
okay, they're
they
counting
are.
on our generations
Yes.
to die out, so that you guys are dumb enough to take this on. Like,
Well-
yes, I would love to just have online only. I would love to just pay
They're-
for this subscription.
they're
and it's going to
absolutely
be 1,000 times over price at the time.
they're absolutely playing on the fact that a lot of people have subscriptions they don't even know about.
Right.
That's what they're playing
Right.
on too. I mean, we can keep going on this subject. Apparently, I have a lot more things we could talk about with failures and what has accomplished and
In gaming, you mean?
in gaming, absolutely, just in gaming. I mean, we can start talking about how, when Sega finally closes doors on consoles, we can move on to.
Well, the VR is
we
interesting
could talk
too because
we could talk to about Virtual Boy that Nintendo tried another handheld system. We even talk about how Nintendo when they bailed on the Sony deal and they went to Philips CDI, and there's a Philips, the TV company, has a video game system with Legend of Zelda and Mario on it.
that's crazy.
That's
That's
made.
crazy.
They were not made by Nintendo because for a split second, Nintendo had a lapse of judgment, and Philips CDI got the rights to make games for these characters. They made 3 Zelda games on the Philips CDI.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that. I was gonna say, for anyone who's an entrepreneur in video gaming, I don't understand why an outside third party company just doesn't. You talk about taking on the big dogs right now. There was Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo, right? Those are the big
Right.
ones.
Right.
Like some outside company, VR. I think VR technology would be ahead of its time. It would be like you said. We were talking about in the past where you have console wars versus like computer wars, right? The PC wars, the two separate entities. Someone needs to start that new war where it's like we only have consoles and online gaming. Someone needs to focus on forget that and strictly just go VR. 100% new gaming system
I'm
altogether.
surprised.
It's not a console. You got like a screen, or you got your 3D screen or 360 screen, or you got your VR goggles that actually work. Like just someone just focus solely on that. It's not online based right now. It's just VR stuff. That would be the wave, right?
Did you see? Did you watch Ready Player One? Right.
Yes.
Look at that console. It was like a giant treadmill, but it was like a circular sphere you ran on, and it had a cage that you harnessed in that you can't escape the area. You're in the small. I mean, it takes up a footprint of like a treadmill. And then you have the VR goggles on,
right?
and then you have the suit on that you can feel everything. That could be the future. You could do that now. You just got to create.
Well,
it.
it's interesting you say that because it's interesting you say that because they probably are working on it. Because Spielberg, he does a lot of research, and one of the things, and that's a Spielberg film, and so one of the things that he does is he asks what developers are working on, usually for years down the road, to throw in his movies, especially if they're futuristic.
Absolutely.
Movies.
And the only thing is, Matt, I'm going to make this my final thought actually because we're running out of time. We may come back and visit this. We may come back and visit this subject, especially if we see good downloads and positive response from our moms. But no matter what you do to video games and make it to virtual and all that, and you want to move and all that during it,
right?
Bottom line is, I just want to sit on the couch and use my hands. I don't want to use anything else.
Yeah.
I don't want to move, Matt. Bottom line.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Absolutely. And I've my final thought is old side scrollers are really winning me over. Old cute Nintendo type stuff right now is winning me over. I'm tired of the first person shooters and going online with a bunch of a-holes, and yeah, I'm over it. I just like good storytelling, and even those games that like open world games, like, dude, I don't know how people beat them. They must have no life. I don't understand how they beat these games.
It is no life.
Either that or they own that one game and they just are dedicated to that one game.
It is because I played Breath of the Wild when it came out. I have 100+ hours documented on it. That's the only game I played.
But even that to me, because I've played a lot of open world games. When I say played, I mean I turned it on. I created a character and I never saw it again.
I turned it on and I waited 20 minutes for my shit to update, and then I created a character.
But you know what I'm saying? Breath of the Wild did not seem... Yeah. I actually felt like I advanced in that game, whereas some of these other ones, I'm like, what? Like, what am I supposed to...
Like I heard you could play Skyrim. It's supposed to be like only an 8-hour game, but apparently people can't figure out how to win right away, so it's like a 200-hour plus game or some shit.
Well, they give you all this extra shit to do, so you think it's necessary to beat the game, but it's just side quests. Side quests are the most ridiculous thing ever, right? Because some people say you got to do side quests to advance your character, to make it easier to play.
Right.
And other people just say, don't worry about it. As a person that doesn't have a lot of time to play games, you don't know what to fucking do.
Right.
So anyways. That's that. I got a life, man. I just wanted to kill some dragons, man.
With that being said, we need to get off this pod. We got lives to live.
We got lives to live.
We got to let the people listening to this know that it went over by like 8 minutes, and they have lives to live too.
More so. So we've been really bad about keeping track. We should just do 2-parters again. That's what we should do. I don't know why we don't do that. So on that note, thank you for listening to Entertainment Banter. My name is Matt.
And my name is Joel 2.0. And I'm done.